that I want to speak. Okay.
It will go away. It will go in a few seconds.
Now it's gone. Okay. So wherever you are as an entrepreneur or as an intrapreneur working with a corporate, the basic expectation from you is to think new, think different, and be a leader. Please take this into your mind, these three keywords: think new, think different, innovate, and be a leader. Without these skills, you'll always be a worker. You will earn, you'll make some money, you will get your salary. But within a year or 2 years, till the point that you think that, now it's time for me to get to the next level, and you will see that, things have started becoming difficult. Somebody else, junior to you, is coming and running faster than you. What did you do in your time to claim a faster promotion or a better salary raise or a better job description? What did you do? We don't like to question that to ourselves. We rather want everything that we think we deserve, but we never put a question to ourselves: do I deserve? What did I do to deserve? Did I do anything different than everybody else who is around me? If your answer is no, I will say you don't deserve it. You deserve a job. That is fine, because you have some skills for which you have been given this job. So you deserve a job. But you are having a job in hand, please stay there, while somebody else who has the capability to lead, innovate, think different, will go faster, will get a better salary raise, will get a better growth profile, will get a better job profile, and you will stay where you are. That is the difference in life that you have to bring in, else nothing else will work. If we have to start with these keywords, you will see around those Binny Bansals and Jay, the Agrawals and the Oyo Stars and everybody else, they are worth thousands of crores. Very few of them. Some of them you don't even know because they work under the radar. Some of the big entrepreneurial efforts don't come to the light everyday life that you will know those people. But they all are worth thousands of crores. But you remember the list that I showed to you yesterday. Each one of them is also worth at least 100 crores. Is that enough money? Is that enough money? And to tell you, you can be there even while being an entrepreneur, where the risk on you is less, the cost of failure on you is not that big. Somebody else is providing you resources. The teams are already there. You just have to think about something different, something new, innovation, and back up your idea, for which you need to have certain skills. We'll talk more about the skills everything today. We also talked about why the entrepreneurial skills at the places that you work are more relevant in these days. Because as companies work, there is a level at which they stop because their traditional business model can lead you to a certain point from where growth doesn't come naturally. Growth comes because somebody is going to now do different things. They will think about the customer differently. They will bring additional products for the customers. They will bring additional features in your existing products. They will find out new ways to reach customers. They will expand the market to go where they had not gone before. They will explore export markets. They will expand their product basket. They will reduce the cost by improving the production or reducing the cost of raw materials. Anything and everything that you can do then comes in to give you the larger growth push beyond a certain plateau. That plateau reaches almost with every company, every product, every service. Beyond that, remember the 100-meter race example that I was talking to you about. The last 30 meters is not run by your abilities of running. It is run by what different things that you do. What mindset do you have? What willpower do you have? That is what is going to take you to the next level. Similarly, innovation. There is technology, technology, and technology everywhere around. Even the processes are getting into technology, not just the products. So the idea of booking a hotel or booking a cab or a taxi or ordering something to be delivered online at home, or even you don't have to go anywhere. You can just download certain things, which are, in the soft form. And all of those innovations, there was a time when everything was a hard product and everything had to be spent effort on. You have to go somewhere to buy certain things and you don't even know that, whether you have got the right product, whether you have got the right thing. So innovation is all the more prevalent everywhere, and we require the entrepreneurs of today to utilize every opportunity that innovation throws up. And we also talked about that leadership, getting people together, shepherding them, to work along with them, to make them feel comfortable in a changing environment. Leadership skills are on the top today, because everything be in place, a factory, an organization, a structure, raw materials, market, customers, tools, everything being in place, nothing may work if you don't have the right leadership. Everybody is a leader. Wherever you are, in whatever position you are responsible for the little kind of set of responsibilities that you have. You are responsible for that. If you do it in the best possible manner, if you think differently and try to improve things upon in that specific sphere of responsibility that you have, you are a leader. That leadership quality has to be in every other person who works. And then we talked about change, that the environment is changing, whether it is now virus coming and changing the environment substantially, in a huge manner, the way in which businesses will be done. A lot of businesses might be unaffected, but a majority of the businesses will be affected by the post-COVID purchase patterns, post-COVID-19 customer behavior, and the companies will have to respond to that. Apart from that, the economics, the fiscal deficit, the inflation, the growth environment, the demand, the disposable incomes, everything that comes along with it are elements of change. If you disregard them, there's all likelihood that in a certain point of time, your usual business model will work and stop. You will then need the leaders, the innovators, the growth champions, the people who think differently, people who understand the customers differently. You will need all of them in the new world. And to be a good leader, you need to improve the engagement with the people to bring out the best from them. Remember, it's not a one-man army. Nowhere in the corporate world has a single idea clicked without a team being in place. And when a team is in place, why would that person work for you? That person will work for you because he feels engaged. He feels motivated. How do you make him feel so? It is not just about money. It is not just about salary. It is not just about work conditions. Work conditions have to be right. But it's more about what is the culture of the organization. How do colleagues treat each other? How does boss take care of people? How do you lead your set of people? What are you worried about that makes the other person feel comfortable that, okay, no, I don't have to worry about this. My boss or my colleague or the person who is responsible will take care of this. Engagement. All of these. And then we also talked about that to do all of that in that changing environment, what are the skills and actions that are done by entrepreneurs inside an organization? So if you see, we talked about generating ideas, understanding budgets, understanding the value proposition of every activity inside the organization and the value proposition for the customer. You have to form and lead teams. You have to think about products, their capabilities, their features. You have to think about the business model, the risks that lie ahead of you. You have to take decisions, back those decisions in an environment of uncertainty. You have to instigate market demand, keep assessing market demand. So you see that you need little expertise in almost every part of the business. So it's not just about purchase business. It's not only about marketing business. It's not only about financing and accounting in the business. It's not only about HR issues in the business. It's not only about operations and quality issues in the business. It's about everything together. Do you have that capability? That is the question that you have to ask. If you do not, see, nobody has this capability from day one. You work on it. You invest in yourself to develop those capabilities, and you have to get an environment, the right environment for learning to get some of those capabilities while you are studying. Then some capabilities develop while you're working at your workplace with your set of responsibility. And then as these situations around become more comfortable, people start having trust and confidence in you. You start showing the initial results with your responsibility sets. Then is the point when you ask for it, larger responsibilities will come. Then you have to think like that businessman within the organization. If you are an entrepreneur, you're already doing that. But being an entrepreneur, 99% of people are entrepreneurs. They are supposed to be entrepreneurs. They are not entrepreneurs in the real sense, but they all work for organizations. And you've seen in organizations that it's a pyramid structure. Only a few people will be there at the top. Who are those few people who are making, today's salaries, 15 crores, 20 crores, 100 crores, or even for a US enterprise, 1,000 crores. And he's not an entrepreneur. He's a person who has worked within the organization, raised himself, his stature, his confidence, and the trust of people around him, that today he has been asked to become a CEO and lead the organization. They all are people like you. A lot of them amongst you might reach a certain stage within the organizations, but it doesn't happen just like that. It doesn't happen because you think. There's a time to think and think differently, and then there is a huge time to act, to take decisions and act. What skills do entrepreneurs need? We touched upon this yesterday. Internal and external environment. They got to be visionary, willing to challenge the status quo. they should be not comfortable with everyday thing happening around you. You need to think about what new. एक मिर्ची लगी हुई होनी चाहिए कि मैं क्या और ऐसा कर सकता हूँ जो कि मेरा वर्क को आसान बनाए, मेरा वर्क मेरे ऊपर डिपेंडेंट ना हो, ताकि मैं अपने फ्री टाइम में अपने ही ऑफिस में बैठा हुआ किसी और बड़ी चीज के बारे में सोच सकूं। वो होता है विजन। It's not just yesterday, just as I talked to you, you don't need to be a Nelson Mandela or a Mahatma Gandhi to be called a visionary. You just need to think like the first level is, what happens if I do this thing in this way? What happens after that? It is about ability to see the future. You're not being asked to see the future 50 years from now. You are expected to just look at, let's say, next 1 month or 2 months or next 1 year. What will be the effect of a certain decision? That's the starting point of, thinking about being a visionary. You got to be diplomatic. We also understood this word. Diplomatic is not always about idhar ka udhar and udhar ka idhar. It is about communicating and handling people in the right way as they expect you to do. It is not about what you think everybody deserves in my team. It is about empathize with the set of people working with you, what will work for them, and accordingly lead them. So ability to build a professional support network, ability to persevere, hard work, even in the face of uncertainty. So remember that, a lot of people amongst us always think that they work a lot, they do a lot of hard work, right? They think that they deserve because they are doing a lot of hard work. And how do they define the hard work? They define the hard work that they work till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the night. They work for probably 14 hours, 15 hours in a day, on 1 day, on 2 days, or let's say 2 days in a month. Each one of us carry false notions about us. It's not about just hard work. It is about intelligent work. And it is also about, are you able to continue that kind of hard work even when you are uncertain about? आपने सुना होगा कई लोगों से, अरे यार कोई फायदा नहीं इस काम को करने का, यार क्या मालूम कोई देखेगा भी नहीं, क्या मालूम क्या होगा, क्या मालूम बॉस एग्री करेगा, क्या मालूम यार लोग मेरे को बोलने लगेंगे यार तेरे को भी पड़ी है क्या? Please remember that, these all are elements of uncertainty. If you start thinking more about them, you will start losing yourself. ये जो आग है ना अंदर, एक आग जो हमेशा जलती रहनी चाहिए, जिस दिन वो बुझ जाएगी उस दिन आप एक मशीन बन जाओगे और कुछ वक्त बाद वो मशीन आपको रिप्लेस कर देगी और आप जॉबलेस हो जाओगे। और फिर हमने ये भी बात की थी कि entrepreneurs need the knowledge of business and modern skills, and these skills are getting redefined year after year. So at this point of time, data analytics, while you are a marketing manager or an HR manager or an operations manager, do you have the capability to see numbers, process numbers in your mind, do some analytical thinking and read between the lines? Think about, what does this data mean? So if a machine throws up data, आज मैंने इतना काम किया, इतना काम किया, इतना काम किया, इस पॉइंट पे इसमें ऑयल डाला, इस पॉइंट पे लुब्रिकेशन हुआ, इस पॉइंट पे इसका प्रिवेंटिव मेंटेनेंस हुआ, इस टाइम पे मेरे को 3 घंटे लगातार काम करना पड़ा, इस पॉइंट पे मेरे को 1.5 घंटे के अंदर रेस्ट मिल गया. Remember, everything is data today. Every action can be captured with a sensor and can generate a data. Your ability to see that data and find out when will this machine require the next overhaul. ये जिम्मेदारी आज उस डेटा को देख करके और आपको वर्कआउट करने की जिम्मेदारी है. Remember that technology is moving so fast that in future machines will come with their own capability to process the data, record the data, process the data, analyze the data, and throw up. There will be a signal in your email box that your boiler machine will be sending to your email box. Next week at 3 o'clock, I will need an overhauling. Use this lubricant rather than that lubricant, and please give me rest for 2 hours. That is the level the machine is going to reach. Today, there is an opportunity for us because new and new data will keep coming up, and new opportunities for us to analyze the data will keep throwing up. If you don't understand data, statistics, regression, analysis, behavior, you will not be able to validate your points. So if you have an idea, how will that idea, if you do that, what will it lead to? You will not be able to work that out if you don't understand data analytics. So there's a skill that an entrepreneur must necessarily have in order to differentiate him from others. That is also today the difference between one MBA versus another MBA. So some people put a question yesterday, or there's a general question as well. What do they teach at IIMs? IIM-Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta. I've had that experience for 5 years. To teach as well as getting taught. They don't teach theory. You are supposed to read the theory before coming to the class. You are to go through the lessons in the papers that have been sent. शाम को खेलना भी जरूरी है, वो जाकर के पब में बैठना भी जरूरी है, शाम की चाय भी जरूरी है, इंटरनेट व्हाट्सएप भी जरूरी है. Can you hear me now clearly? Clearly? Can somebody respond? Clearly? Hello? 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 Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
All right, let there be some responses. Can you hear me? Somebody is saying still no audio. All right, okay, thank you very much. Okay. Some technology glitches that you have to work with. This is change. So suddenly you will feel bad, what happened? But then you have to live with it. All right, let me check the chat window as well. Okay. Give me a moment while I organize my screen. Okay. All right. So yes, I'll repeat the IIM part. Yes. So some people ask, a lot of questions about what do they teach at IIM? How do they teach at IIM? What makes those people the best, the good performers, and some of them go on to become the CEOs, is that they don't teach theory in class. They expect you to read the chapter of the book, the research papers before coming to class. Whereas I can bet 95% plus MBAs in this country, and I'm sorry to say even for my own colleagues, the professors, the best way to teach is quite like, am I audible? Again, not audible. Am I audible? All right. Okay. So what do they teach in class is the skill to understand a situation, skill to understand a context. What will work, what will not work. If you take decision A, what will be the consequences? If you take decision B, what will be the consequences? And the consequences are going to be imagined in the mind of the people. What will happen to marketing, operations, HR, and other functions of the organization if you take decision A or B? The results are not there. What happened after decision A was made are not there in the case. The cases, sometimes you find a lot of, thousands of cases around which just describe a situation. No, they are not the right cases to teach from. The cases are where you leave a question, and that question is to the reader, given that you have read this lesson, given that you have read this research paper, now apply that knowledge to a situation. It is like saying it's a laboratory. It's a practice, net practice for the cricketers. So for a cricketer at a net practice, for a batsman, you ask the practice bowlers to throw fast, throw slow, throw medium pace, throw leg break, throw off break, googly, spin. They want the batsman to face all kinds of situations before going to the match. So what do they teach in class is not theory, is not fact. It is about how to deal with uncertainty. And you need to pick the right case, and you need to have the right professor to be able to see. A lot of professors may not have this capability to themselves understand what will happen. But then they can always make up for this deficiency by reading a lot of research, by doing a lot of research, and to be able to tell what are the possible situations that will arrive if you take decision A or decision B or decision C. So they don't teach theory in class. They will teach you how to use data. There is a lot of data in the case. Now tell me, read this data and tell me what is the situation of the company. Is it healthy? It is bad? It is poor? It is showing signals to become bad? And you have to think. So thinking is what the IIMs teach. Dealing with uncertainty is what IIMs teach. The process through which you arrive at a future or a risk pattern is what they teach. They teach you to take decisions. Obviously, you are not working in a company, so whatever decision you take today is what the group thinks, and then you have to defend that decision. Yes, if I was the CEO, or if I was the marketing manager, or if I was the operations manager, I will take this decision. And then the professor prods that person. So if you do this, what will happen to this? What will happen there? So you have to understand and give scenarios. They teach scenario making in class. So the modern skills, the last point on this slide was about, can you see the slide? Can everybody see the slide? All right, okay. So the last point is about the knowledge of the business and the required modern skills to understand better is what you should look for. And this is what the entrepreneur needs today. The skills to understand the future. So how do entrepreneurs contribute in an organization when they are working? So some people would ask, no, as an entrepreneur, what do I do? Okay, I have been given a responsibility. ये invoice चालान आता है, उसको रिकॉर्ड करने का है, उसको कंप्यूटर पे चढ़ाने का है, शाम को उसका रिपोर्ट निकालने का है, वो रिपोर्ट में एनालिसिस भी है, और वो रिपोर्ट जा करके बॉस को देने का है, और नेक्स्ट डे की तैयारी करने का है, और नेक्स्ट डे फिर वो चालान्स आएंगे, रिसीट्स आएंगे, उसको चढ़ाना है, रिपोर्ट निकालना है, बॉस को देना है, दो बातें और होंगी. किसी दिन वर्क बढ़ जाएगा क्योंकि बहुत सारे चालान्स होंगे, किसी दिन वर्क कम रहेगा तो आराम से बैठे होंगे. What can an entrepreneur do? How does he or she contribute in an organization? एक नॉर्मल काम तो आपको दे ही रखा है, ये मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया. What is the change in the process that will lead to, let us say, faster analysis, quicker capture of idea? वो जो चालान है, क्या उसको किसी कैमरे के सामने रख दें तो वो कैमरा सारे पॉइंट्स रीड करके और अपने आप एंटर कर सकता है? Is there a way to do that? Ever thought about it? Today it is possible. Video analytics, it is possible. Can I do a better analysis? Can I think of a different report? Can I think of different tool? For example, if there's a normal regression, can I do a logistic regression and find out a better result for my boss? The day, I am telling you, I promise you, the day a person who is handling a usual regular job which has been happening for months and years, the day you come up with this idea that I can do this job better and differently, 99% of the managers would not object. Yes, try it out. Tell me. बात करता है बहुत सारी, ठीक है करके दिखा, और आपने करके दिखा दिया ना जिस दिन, उस दिन से आप मान लीजिए कि आपकी कैरियर ग्रोथ की ट्रैजेक्टरी डिफरेंट हो जाएगी. So what do entrepreneurs do? They think about new products. They think about improvement in the existing products. That can be done without much cost and still help them to sell more to the customer because the customer wants those new features. They can think about new process ideas that reduce cost or improve productivity. They can think of new business models, how to reach new customers, how to make the current customer buy more and more. They need to have those skills. They can have those skills of data analytics, big insights into, and suddenly come up with things that otherwise is not thought of in the regular analysis and report. जो रेगुलर हमें चल रहा है ना, जो वनीला चल रहा है, उसमें आपको बटर स्कॉच डालना है। समझ लीजिए सिंपल शब्दों में, जो वनीला स्ट्रॉबेरी है ना, उसमें आपको बेल्जियन चॉकलेट और बटर स्कॉच बनाना है। काम वही है, ये एंटरप्रेन्योर्स करते हैं। बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ कस्टमर उनके पास होती है, उनके पास बेटर नेटवर्क्स होते हैं जहां से वो नई जानकारी लेकर के आते हैं। आपको कुछ नया सोर्स करना है, मटेरियल, टूल्स, वो वहां से लेकर के आते हैं। बेटर कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स होते हैं उनके पास में। दे आर एबल टू engage a customer or a vendor or a supplier and get better terms. उनके पास बेटर स्किल्स होती है, वो ज्यादा अच्छे से अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं अगली पार्टी को, बेटर नेगोशिएशन कर सकते हैं। आप देख रहे हैं इसमें क्या है कि कुछ अलग है, बस कुछ अलग है, जो कि जिसके लिए आपको तनख्वाह नहीं मिल रही है, लेकिन फिर भी आपसे एक्सपेक्टेशन है आप करो तो माशाअल्लाह, और ना करो तो भैया तनख्वाह तो आ ही रही है। आप anything and everything that an entrepreneur does, it has to lead to, you see the statement in the red, it has to lead to new revenue stream or lead to less cost or lead to improve profitability, और इवन अगर वो उसको पैसे में नहीं तोला जा सकता उस एक्शन को, तो लॉन्ग टर्म सस्टेनेबिलिटी और कॉम्पिटिटिव एडवांटेज आपके पास है या नहीं। सस्टेनेबल मतलब आपने देखा होगा सिचुएशन जब बहुत ज्यादा खराब होती है तो कुछ ही ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सरवाइव करती हैं। इस पीरियड में, ये जो लास्ट 2 महीने का पीरियड है कोविड-19 के पीरियड में, आपने फ्यूचर ग्रुप का पतन जिस टाइप से वो नीचे गया है वो भी देखा है आपने, और जिस टाइप से डीमार्ट ऊपर गया है वो भी देखा है आपने, अगर आप में से कुछ लोग स्टॉक मार्केट्स में इंटरेस्टेड रहे तो। इन द टाइम्स ऑफ क्राइसिस ओनली द बेस्ट सर्वाइव, ओनली द टफेस्ट सर्वाइव। उसको कहते हैं सस्टेनेबिलिटी डेवलप करना ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, एक कॉम्पिटिटिव एडवांटेज डेवलप करना ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में। And in the process, what do entrepreneurs get back? They get job satisfaction, they get credibility, they get self-confidence, they get a good career, growth, and money. Yes, that's important. That's very important. Money always runs behind those people who generate more value. You will stop asking for money. You will stop asking for a better salary. It will come on its own. Why and how? I'll tell you the secret today. Every organization is taught to understand who are the key people in the organization. Every HR, they will have, वो 5, 6, 10 लोगों की लिस्ट होगी उसके पास हमेशा। उन बंदों से या उन from the boys or the girls, they will talk differently. दोस्ताना व्यवहार ज्यादा होगा वहां पे। They will be more worried कि अगला जो रेज होगा उसमें अगर सबके 5% है ना, तो उनके 5.5% रेज होना चाहिए सैलरी में। अगर 5 चेयर्स आई है ना, तो उसमें से जो सबसे बढ़िया चेयर है ना, वो उस पर्सन के लिए होगी। वो आपने करते हुए देखा होगा, अभी नहीं देखा है तो आप देख लेंगे। Every organization has a list of key people whom आपके सेठ जी भी बोलते हैं कि इसको नहीं छोड़ना है, ये अगर जाए तो उसको पकड़ करके और बंद कर लेना है, कमरे के अंदर बंद कर दो दिन भर। अगर वो नहीं मान रहा है तो धमकाओ उसको, लेकिन उसको रखो। फाइंड आउट अ वे टू कीप हिम। वो आज 2 लाख की सैलरी पे है, उसको 3 लाख दो, लेकिन ये बंदा जाना नहीं चाहिए। This is the personality that you want to make in the organizations. Yes, I understand not applicable for large companies, but you don't even know, Ashish, I don't know whether you work in the organization, but But every organization does not have just one person. If it's a large organization, there'll be 15, 20 different levels of HR. And every HR has to look after the people within his set of influence. Every HR will have to look after, let's say, 200, 300 people. Amongst them, he clearly knows who are the right people. So आप ये कह सकते हो कि भाई बड़े ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में इतना आसान नहीं होता है कि किसी की ये सैलरी बढ़ा दी, किसी की वो सैलरी बढ़ा दी. No, it's not always only about salaries. एक अच्छा ट्रेनिंग होगा ना तो पहले उस बंदे को भेजेंगे. एक फॉरेन नेगोशिएशन होगा वो पहले उस बंदे को भेजेंगे. सीईओ के साथ अगर किसी को ट्रैवल करना है कि वो अच्छा कन्वर्सेशन करेगा और साथ में सब ऑर्गेनाइज कर लेगा, पहले उस बंदे को भेजेंगे. It is not always about money in large organizations. Every small or large organization, there is always a set of key people who are different, who are proven more valuable for the organization. और अगर large organization ऐसे हैं जो इस चीज को नहीं सोचते हैं तो भैया फिर भगवान मालिक है, कभी ठीक चलेगा और कभी प्रॉब्लम होगी तो फिर वो सोचेंगे फिर. All right. So the $1 million question is, भाई कंपनी तो कोई सोशल सर्विस करने के लिए नहीं बैठी है. There is no free lunch. Company wants to see the value for the money they have spent. Remember, the position at which you work is not because that work needs to be done by somebody. It is because by doing that work in the way the company's standard procedures lay down, there is some value generated. If there is no value generation, they'll ask somebody else, ये भी काम करो. जो existing है ना, हर organization में कुछ लोग होते हैं जो मना नहीं कर पाते हैं, उनके ऊपर overload होता है. But remember that if you are getting a salary, you are not getting because you're just doing that work, because that work carries value, and which also means that you can think about ways to improve value. अगर वो valuable activity नहीं होगी तो समझ लीजिए आज आपकी जॉब है और कल नहीं है. So कंपनी कोई सोशल सर्विस में नहीं बैठी है. So getting credits and getting your bosses hostile is something that we will deal with some other day when we talk about interpersonal relationships in the organization. I'm talking about higher order things today. So Tripti, please, or Aishwarya, please excuse me for that. Okay. So $1 million question is all of that easy? What did we discuss? How do entrepreneurs contribute? Intrapreneurs. What do entrepreneurs need to have in themselves today in order to perform like an entrepreneur in an organization? So from these two slides comes this, is all of that easy? And this is, to me, this is a very, very important slide. Why it is important? If it is easy, कोई भी कर लेगा उस काम को. तब आप अच्छे हैं और वो अच्छा नहीं है, ये डिफरेंस खत्म हो जाएगा. आप अगर एम्बिशियस हैं, आप अगर अच्छे हैं, तो ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में आप काम भी नहीं करना चाहेंगे, क्योंकि मौका तो होना चाहिए ना डिफरेंशिएट करने का. एक और सीक्रेट की बात बताता हूं. Quite a lot of professors do it. Easy questions बना सकते हैं वो एग्जाम्स में, बट कुछ डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन उस एग्जाम पेपर में इसीलिए डाले जाते हैं कि इजी क्वेश्चन तो सभी सॉल्व कर लेंगे, मैं कैसे पता करूंगा कि कोई बच्चा ज्यादा अच्छा और ज्यादा इंटेलिजेंट है. दैट इज व्हाई देयर इज अ डिफरेंस इन मार्क्स कि किसी को 95 आ जाते हैं और उसी क्वेश्चन उसी क्लास को अटेंड करने वाले दूसरे के 60 भी नहीं आते। If it is easy, everybody would be doing it. There will be no differentiation between a good and bad. Even beggars can become CEOs. फिर तो खाली CEO काम करेंगे organization. दूसरा, if it is not different and if there is no risk in doing that, again everybody will be doing that. अरे risk तो है नहीं, चल यार ये काम करते हैं. Easy भी है, सब एक्सपर्टीज भी मिल जाएंगी, एडवाइजर्स भी मिल जाएंगे, मेंटर्स भी मिल जाएंगे, रिस्क भी नहीं है, चलो यार ये काम करते हैं. Quite a lot of us actually, I am willing to bet again, quite a lot of us think like that. यार आराम का काम है, स्पेशली गवर्नमेंट. यार मेहनत कर लेते हैं अभी, बाद में आराम ही आराम है, पैसा भी. If it is not different, if there is no risk, again everybody would be doing it, and most of them will fail when it is a question of market and competition. Once again, you got to be different in the crowd, whether you are an entrepreneur or intrapreneur. Entrepreneur, if he does not have a product or a service which is different than what is being done today, if he is still coming out with vanilla and strawberry, you can imagine what kind of willingness of people to pay or buy will be. And you also know that if there is a Belgian chocolate जिसमें खाली flavor डालने का होता है और chocolate डालने का होता है, उसको आप दुगुनी कीमत पे बेच देते हैं क्योंकि वो different है. It is important to be different in the crowd. So ये कहाँ से आएंगी ये abilities? ये ऊपर once again ये अगर करना है, once again अगर ये आपके अंदर skills होनी चाहिए, ये कहाँ से आएंगी? Where do you get them? एक तरीका है your luck, कि आप एक golden spoon के साथ जन्मे हो. आशीष अंबानी, करण अदानी, a few examples, Piyush Mittal, or you understand what I mean to say, that you are having the good luck to be born in an Ambani, Adani, Mittal, Goel, Agrawal family, that is with a golden spoon. Or you get a good mentor and work along with them. It could be your own home business. घर का business है, लेकिन घर के business की remember जिस जमाने में वो setup हुआ था, उस जमाने की challenges different थी, आज की challenges different है. कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि जब आपको परोसा हुआ business मिलता है हाथ में चलाने को, तो every younger second generation businessman उस family का उसको अच्छे से चला पाए, ये कोई जरूरी नहीं है. I have seen hundreds of failures. So ये good mentor अगर मिल जाए और business मिल जाए बना बनाए तो काम चल जाता है. लेकिन ये जो दोनों है ना ऊपर, ये दोनों मिलाकर के 1% भी नहीं होता है. 99% तो भी किसी न किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन या गवर्नमेंट में काम करेंगे, जॉब करेंगे. कितने मालिक दिखाई देते हैं आपको चारों तरफ? सो या तो आज या सम स्टेज ऑफ योर लाइफ आपको एक अच्छे MBA की जरूरत पड़ेगी. तो मैंने अभी लास्ट 5 मिनट पहले आपसे बात कर रहा था कि सारे MBAs आपको बेसिक मैनेजमेंट तो सिखाते ही हैं, बट जो अच्छे MBAs होते हैं वो क्या करते हैं? They bring out and polish your abilities. They bring out the leader in you. वो values सिखाते हैं, hard work, इंटेलिजेंट वर्क, टीम वर्क, जो मैं कह रहा था आपको कि जो IIM में लोग क्या करते हैं, ये आपको सिखाते हैं इंटेलिजेंट वर्क। इसमें नहीं है कि आप रीड कर लें वो लेसन को। इंटेलिजेंट वर्क इसमें है कि लेसन को रीड करने के बाद में उसकी नॉलेज को आप जब एक केस के ऊपर अप्लाई करें तो आप समझ पाए कि क्या हो रहा है एंड व्हाट विल हैपन इन फ्यूचर। दैट्स इंटेलिजेंट वर्क। वो हार्ड वर्क, पूरी रात लगा करके आपने लेसन को पढ़ लिया, वो हार्ड वर्क नहीं है, वो खाली वर्क है। हार्ड है इसीलिए है कि आपने बना दिया, आपने सोचा कि भाई रात भर पढ़ लेते हैं। So they help you in analyze doing intelligent work, टीम वर्क। सारे के सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स वो एक टीम में देते हैं। टीम में क्यों देते हैं? क्योंकि विद इन द टीम आपके 4 डिफरेंट वर्जन ऑफ डिसीजंस हो सकते हैं। वो आपस में टीम फाइट करे, मेंबर्स फाइट करे, नहीं ये करते हैं यार, नहीं वो करते हैं यार, तो ऐसा करने से देख ये फायदे होंगे। दूसरा बोलेगा नहीं तू तो क्या फायदे गिना रहा है, देख मैं बताता हूँ तेरे को, ये डिसीजन बी करने से ये फायदे होते हैं। And then they come to an agreement at the end of this discussion. That's important to learn during MBA and during the learning phase, because अगर आप वर्क प्लेस पे जाके बोलेंगे मेरी चलेगी, तो भैया आपकी चलेगी एक दिन, तो दूसरे दिन की कोई गारंटी नहीं है। मॉडर्न स्किल्स, ऐसे MBA जो आज आपको कुछ डेटा एनालिटिक्स, ERP, सिमुलेशन, लीडरशिप, इन सब में अगर आपको कुछ आज की स्किल सिखाते हैं, दे आर मच बेटर देन एनी अदर जनरल MBA। सो आशुतोष, जैसा मैंने बताया, वहां पे बताते कम हैं, IIM में बताते कम हैं, खोजते ज्यादा हैं, हेल्प करते हैं आपको एक डिसीजन में पहुंचने के लिए, हेल्प करते हैं आपको फ्यूचर को समझने के लिए। किताबें किस पे लिखी जाती है? पास्ट पे, हिस्ट्री पे। सीखना क्या जरूरी है? आगे क्या होगा। सो पास्ट एक इंडिकेशन है फ्यूचर के लिए, बट फिर भी आपको मेहनत चाहिए ये समझने के लिए कि कल क्या होगा, व्हाट विल हैपन टुमारो। So Manoj, there are a lot of people who also want to understand things better, and so at times I am using Hindi, so don't worry about that. ये entrepreneurs में क्या ऐसा होता है? So let's discuss a little bit about entrepreneurs also. अभी तक हमने काफी कुछ intrapreneurs के बारे में बात करी। बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंस इन दोनों में नहीं होता है। हमने वो फर्स्ट फ्यू स्लाइड्स में देखा था कि बहुत सारा एरिया है जो कॉमन है। वो जो सेट है, 2 सर्कल्स है, उसमें बीच में जो बड़ा एरिया है वो कॉमन है। जो डिफरेंट है वो ये है कि इंट्राप्रेन्योर्स के पास रिसोर्सेज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से मिलते हैं और एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को रिसोर्सेज खुद ऑर्गेनाइज करने होते हैं। वो खुद मालिक होता है, वो किसी के अंडर नहीं काम कर रहा होता है। इंट्राप्रेन्योर्स भी मोर और लेस ऐसा ही होता है। जब आप when you are able to prove that you have intrapreneurial qualities in an organization, take it from me, you will be given more freedom. So the two worlds are not that different. The qualities and skills required are not that different. So what is it that entrepreneurs have inside them? एक selfless ego. ड्रीम्स होता है, एम्बिशन होते हैं। संकेत, this is a very personal question on which salary you should take. So some other day, it's not a topic of today. We are discussing more on. I will request the Takshila management to probably organize another seminar where I see there are a lot of questions and doubts which are coming from people with an understanding that they really need to clarify. And every webinar cannot be used to answer every question. So so Kushal gives you an answer that don't join Baiju, its attrition rate is very high. I kind of broadly agree with Kushal, but I also agree that when the attrition rate is very high, it also means that there is a lot of pressure. And I am a strong believer that if you can learn anything under pressure, that's the best way to learn, because if there is no pressure, you will not learn. All right. Okay. So what do entrepreneurs have different? They have a selfless ego. They are not hung up. They're not hung up on issues affecting them. They have dreams. They're very strong dreams. They have an ambition. They have a willingness to take risk. Very few amongst us take risks. We take risks that we think we can manage. To drive a bike at 120 kmph, motorbike, 120 kilometers per hour, is a risk, yes. Because you don't know what will happen if there is an accident. But people have a statistics playing in the mind. I have seen lakhs of people driving very fast, but I have not seen many accidents happening. So I'm willing to take that risk. All right, take that risk by all means. But when it comes, you can't be driving a bike to earn your money, to lead a life. You'll be married someday, you'll have kids someday, you have a responsibility of parents. How do you discharge all of them? So the risk here, what I'm talking about is the risk on yourself, the investment that you do on yourself. What happens when you go the entrepreneur way or the job way? What will give you a better return on money? The risk of putting 1 rupee is also the same, and risk of putting 1 lakh rupees is also the same, because in both cases, you have to think about future. The impact will be less or more depending on how much money is involved. That's a different case. But there's an element of risk. So they are willing to take risk. They are willing to initiate and move fast, because they understand that if I don't move fast, somebody else will run faster. And they are very fast learners also. This is another difference in the people who go to IIMs. One is, because they have that 100 percentile, so that logical ability is there. They somehow, I have this, there's a research also done, a lot of them, that they can read faster, they can learn, understand faster, they can process information faster. So remember that, in a day, if there are 3 lectures, you might have about 100 pages to read, understand, and then read the case and apply those pages of reading onto the case. And all of that has to be done in a night. On an average, an IIM guy would be getting an average sleep of 3 to 4 hours during the first 5 days. Some of them cover up their sleep over the weekends. But even weekends have greater pressure, because there is always an assignment waiting for you to be submitted on Monday. So, what I also want to dispel some myths that entrepreneurs are not the smartest or the highest achieving people around. But what is there that they have a vision and a focus? कि करना है, ऐसा कुछ करना है. They are not the ones who work alone. Entrepreneurial journey एक team sport होती है. Entrepreneurs are not just born. They are keen learners. You can learn to do entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs are not just those who love risk and take a lot of risk. No. ऐसे नहीं आंख मूंद करके रिस्क लेते हैं, देखा जाएगा, कूद जाते हैं, देखेंगे हाथ टूटेगा पैर टूटेगा तो फिर करवा लेंगे डॉक्टर से। नो नो नो, दे टेक कैलकुलेटेड रिस्क। ऐसा नहीं है कि ये कैरिस्मेटिक होते हैं, ये कैरिस्मेटिक बन जाते हैं सक्सेसफुल होने के बाद में, बट पहले हार्ड वर्क जरूरी होता है जो ये रेडी होते हैं करने के। दे आर नॉट अनडिसिप्लिन्ड, बिकॉज डिसिप्लिन नहीं होगा तो एक प्रोसेस नहीं होगा, कॉज इफेक्ट रिलेशनशिप नहीं होंगी, योर एबिलिटी टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज हैपनिंग वो नहीं होगा आपके दिमाग में। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि ये लोग अनडिसिप्लिन, क्वाइट अ गुड ऑर्डर ऑफ डिसिप्लिन होता है इनमें। इट्स नॉट दैट दे डोंट हैव अ पर्सनल लाइफ, बट यस यू आर राइट, दे आर बिजी टुडे बट दे विल हैव द बेस्ट लाइफ लेटर। They are not the people who are only motivated by money. कितना पैसा जरूरी होता है लाइफ में? 1 लाख, 20 लाख, 50 लाख, 1 करोड़, 2 करोड़, 50 करोड़, 100 करोड़, 1000 करोड़। 1000 करोड़ का तो क्या करोगे? 100 करोड़ तक तो आप फिर भी सोच सकते हो कि किसी तरीके से यूटिलाइज करूंगा, फिर भी ये काम करते हैं उतना पैसा कमाने। तो पैसा is not the only thing that motivates them. They are not the only ones to have great ideas. Ideas हर दिमाग में होता है, आपको आपके अंदर की एबिलिटी जो है उस आइडिया पे वर्क करके उसको ऐसा बनाने की कि कोई उसको मना न कर सके, ये एबिलिटी हर एक में नहीं होती है। आइडियाज हर दिमाग में होते हैं। ड्रीम्स तो होने ही चाहिए, वो ड्रीम ही रह जाए तो क्या बात है। And if you don't believe in your dreams, you can never go beyond the point. And if you work hard, then only success will come. But if you see doubt, I'm talking of entrepreneurs. So first point was dream. Another one is when you start doing, the doubts and insecurity kills a lot of them. इसीलिए no, it's just not a small point. इसीलिए 99% प्लस लोग नौकरियां करते हैं। डाउट होता है दिमाग में, इनसिक्योरिटी होती है, what will happen? Look at this, failure rate of startups 90%, and of entrepreneurs 10 to 20%, because entrepreneurs never fail. A startup might fail. Why entrepreneurship is so tempting, engaging? बहुत कुछ होता है entrepreneurs से। आप खुद पे होते, you are on your own, being yourself, you are a master of your destiny. This is the best investment in yourself than any university course or coaching. ये एक स्कूल है अपने आप में. This is a school in itself. If you get inside that school because you want to do entrepreneurship, you will learn the hard way, but you will learn everything that they teach in MBA faster. There are chances that you will make a lot of money. There are only chances. See, entrepreneurship, when I say 90% startups fail, I'm not saying everybody is making money. There are a lot of money that you are losing also in the process of failure. But if nothing else, you will be satisfied that you tried. Life में कभी आपके आगे ऐसा नहीं होगा कि आप ये सोचेंगे यार कर सकते थे लेकिन नहीं किया. Gosh, that word, gosh. Learning by doing yourself is a sure shot way than even doing a Harvard MBA. I love this sentence. Do it yourself. It develops and polishes the brand you in the most complete way. वरना लाइफ में आप खाली या तो HR करेंगे या मार्केटिंग करेंगे, ऑपरेशंस करेंगे, क्वालिटी करेंगे या फिर परचेजिंग करेंगे या कॉमर्स. जबकि अगर आप बिजनेस को समझते हैं तो आप पूरा बिजनेस भी कर सकते हैं. ये किसने कहा कि आप में कैपेबिलिटी नहीं है? बट व्हेन यू गेट इनटू एन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, इट डेवलप्स द कंप्लीट यू. And in the process, if you see, you are also useful to the society because you are creating jobs, you are creating value addition, you are adding value to products, improving the national income. These are broadly the reasons why people get into entrepreneurship. But your worst fears are financial fears and fear of failure. Financial कैसे? कितने दिन चला लूंगा मैं अगर मेरे पास इनकम नहीं हुई तो? मेरी personal savings will end at some point of time, but the business will still need more money. What will happen then? Plus the fear of failure. If you fail, after that what? So the last sentence के पहले मैं आपको ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि I am actually a person who strongly believes our education system in India does not teach how to handle failures. Does not teach how to handle failures. They only teach how to disseminate knowledge, grasp knowledge, write knowledge, vomit knowledge, write an exam. And there are some science-oriented subjects who do laboratories also, which is fine, which is good, because when you do it yourself in a laboratory, when you fail, you know how to succeed, how to do it differently so that it is possible for you to complete that experiment. These are the best ways of learning. Even management also has these laboratories in simulation, and a lot of MBA colleges teach through simulation. Please, when you decide on an MBA, please do ask how many of your subjects you are doing through simulation. But एक चीज मान के चलो आप, I have seen it hundreds of times. I have myself interviewed thousands of people. A failed entrepreneur is much more in demand. If there is a choice between a failed entrepreneur and a pure MBA, I will take a failed entrepreneur because he has much more practice-based knowledge. Mithil, there was a question yesterday also. Let me take this quick question that, what is difference between MMS and MBA, Master of Management Studies and MBA. Please remember that till last year, IIMs, all the IIMs were only giving diploma in management. This year onwards, they will become a degree because there is a approval from the government. खाली डिप्लोमा और डिप्लोमा वाले सीईओ बन जाते हैं, सबको नौकरियां मिलती 2 लाख 3 लाख एनुअल, and they are taking 15 lakhs 20 lakhs 30 lakhs annual salaries just by earning a diploma. No. So the difference is not in the diploma or master in management studies or an MBA. But if you want to do a PhD after your masters, then you have to take a recognized degree. MBA from a recognized university or master in management studies from a recognized university. But if you want to work after doing this management course, then whether it's a diploma or a master in management or an MBA, the difference is in the professor, the institution, the professors, and your peer group, the students that you are going to study along with. And if you're asking me that, within the same university, within the same institution, what is the difference between master in management and an MBA? Look at, I think you should look into what is the placement statistics and, what different things that they do with MBA. Whichever offers better value, you should join. That's all I will want to do. PGDM, PGPM, PGDM, is all the same. You know, you have to look at, if you want to do long-term studies, PhD, look for a recognized master's degree from a university. And if you want to do job, if your main objective is to do an MBA and get a good job, then look at the institution, look at the professors, look at the peer group, what kind of students take admissions there. And then obviously you should also look at the placements and salaries and all. Okay, coming back to, as I said, you must remember that a failed entrepreneur is much more employable. But then you don't work for failures, right? There are other important questions also. When you do an entrepreneurship, what idea, what product, what service? Is the market large enough? What about the startup costs? How much do I need to start up? How much of that money I only have myself? What if I go to my chacha, mama, bhatija, friends? How much they will be able to lend to me? ये सब हो जाने के बाद में, what is the competition in the market? It's difficult to get answers on every question today, but you can progressively get your answers. So there is no problem if you're not ready today, because 99.9% of entrepreneurs have tested water. What does this mean? I'll take an example. Lakshmi Mittal is one of the India's richest NRIs abroad. He has an empire of steel making companies called ArcelorMittal Steel. He spent 15 plus years in one of their plants in a place in Indonesia, which is not even the capital of Indonesia. A non-glamorous place, 15 years, working hard to understand what is steel business. And then when he jumps, he becomes the richest person. 1 lakh crore se zyada ki uski net worth. So your day will come. If not today, if you are not ready today, but when? Is it when you are young, when you have no bills to pay, very few commitments and plenty of time? Or it is after you have gained enough experience, or you are retired, or you have enough resources to be ready for the risk? When? So testing waters means doing it, getting into the business, doing it yourself. It is like, ये पानी कितना गहरा है, मैं swim कर पाऊंगा कि नहीं? So let me jump into the water and test it myself, something like that. So if you are going to take risks, one thought process is, if you are going to take risks, do it at a young age when you have a lot of energy, lot of confidence, no hang-ups, no failures, no negative energies. You have enough time. Even if you fail, you can stand up again and fight again. There's another thought process. The study also says startups in industries which have raised less capital, they have lower employment growth and a higher rate of failure than founders who build those companies after getting some experience in work. So that's a proper research saying probably you should work before you get enough confidence. MIT, there's a research which says average age of successful startup founder 42 to 45. On an average, you have worked for 14 years. Among those who have started from middle-aged entrepreneurs had a larger success rate. Those startups which have survived for a longer period are those which have been set up by people at middle age, 25 to 30 years. people who are working today in their current jobs, if they go on to launch an enterprise and become entrepreneurs, they are less likely to fail than somebody who is not having experience. And if you look at the list in the last line, McDonald's, Coke, KFC, Netflix, Alibaba, Lenovo, Intel, Sony, Hugo Boss. I am sure most of us have experienced most of these global, very successful companies, and they've been set up by people after the age of 36, from 36 to 50 years. What does that mean? When do people start working? When do people start thinking of an entrepreneur? They can start if they have dreams. They can start if they have family pressures, sometimes unemployment. You might see, in the coming year, in the next 1 year, in the post-COVID-19 environment, there'll be a lot of unemployment because a lot of companies are shedding workforce. And you will see a lot of entrepreneurial efforts also taking shape. There's a job crisis, so you think of entrepreneurship. You see that your friends have succeeded, so you also want to do. You hate your job, so you want to do a business. You hate your boss, so you want to do a business. You want to get rich quick, and you think that entrepreneurial journeys are very easy. You want to work less and have fun. So you are in a fool's world if you think that you want to work less and have fun. But what you can do, with people who think like this, you want more flexibility. Yes, there is flexibility of work time. You want to work on your own. So you want to get into a business. You think it will be easier than a corporate job. A lot of people think like this. You only want to answer or be answerable to yourself. You don't want a boss. You want to have fun. You want to be famous. Or a friend or family member wants to do business with you. He comes saying, "Arey yaar, kya kar raha hai? Chal, karte hain kuch stuff." Or a herd mentality. Everybody in your community is getting into business, so I must also get into business. Otherwise, what image will I have? So some of them are okay, the right reasons. Some of them are myths because you don't know much and so you want to get into that. I'm not going to get into the whys and don'ts of these, but these are the reasons why people get into entrepreneurship. But what is the problem of this 90% failure is they don't know the right time to exit. What happens is you test your product or a service with a few people, your friends, your relatives, your known people, and they say, "Wow, kya product bana hai? Oh, what a great product, sabki de rahe, well done, well done. You will succeed," and all that. Remember that, most of these are favored bias samples. और वो आप क्यों उस सैंपल को चूज करते हैं अपना टेस्टिंग करने के लिए? बिकॉज कन्वीनियंट है, वो घर के बगल में है, सोसाइटी में रहते हैं. You can pick up a phone and ask your relatives to give you a feedback or something like that. Initially कुछ success होता है and you think that this is it and I can make millions out of this. But what happens is, because of the initial success, you start closing your eyes to the risks associated at every stage. So every stage has a different stage of risk. The initial success had that initial success wala connected risk. The moment you get into, let's say, initial success ke baad mein you are setting up a plant. Now you have an asset risk. You are producing more. Now you have a working capital risk. You are going to the market with large material. You have a demand risk. You are going to the market with a lot of material at a certain price. You have a sales risk. So every stage is a risk, which later on, when people go through, they fail to realize. They always think, "Arey yaar, succeed hue the na first stage pe." So you don't know when to exit. It is almost like a stock market. You always think that your stock will improve, and so you will not exit, and the stock falls down very often. Quite often you say, if I had advertised more, I could have got more clients. Did you ever bother to ask, let's say if you had asked your friends, will you buy this product? You have come out with an idea and you're asking your friend, will you buy this product? Did your friend say yes because of you or because of the goodness of the product? Sometimes, you feel happy that people are saying, yes, good job done, good work done, बढ़िया idea है, करो यार, करो, करो, हम तेरे साथ हैं. क्या चीज से साथ में? You don't know, because tomorrow when you go back to them, यार तू बोल रहा था तो अच्छा था, अब मेरे पास तो पैसे नहीं है, मैं कहां से लगाऊंगा? So that is where sometimes people don't know how to exit, and eventually they fail. और अगर आप में ego है, if you are harboring an ego, it's a sure shot recipe for failure. And you may also fail because sometimes you don't have enough money. Now, if I had to sum up, the last two slides are there. If I had to sum up, being an entrepreneur requires a lot of different kind of capabilities. A similar story goes with intrapreneurs. My personal preference is to become an entrepreneur, but you may not be the right person, or you may not be at the right stage or time of your career to become entrepreneur. It always pays to work first and understand what is work. You have to start working to understand what is hard work and what is intelligent work. And when you work, you have to get a good responsibility in order to learn more. And how do you get a good responsibility is when you do a good MBA. An MBA which polishes you, your leadership, your modern skills, your ability to work with people, your ability to think about the future, your ability to create a picture of risk and return. After that, some years of experience, and I guess that would be the right point to enter. But which are the areas where you will see greater opportunities in the coming years? If you can look at this small list, I'm not saying this is the exhaustive list. The list can keep on increasing. But at this point, these are very hot sectors. And remember that every Tom, Dick and Harry cannot get into these sectors. You need to have the right set of skills, temperament, leadership. Their interviews, most of these companies have 2-stage, 3-stage interviews. And they have those skill tests to understand your mental makeup. They are high-risk industries. Quite a lot of them might fail one day, but does not work against you, because it is not because of you they have failed. They might have failed because of their product marketing or whatever. But you still get a very good experience in a struggling organization. So some of these sectors are very hot today. And to be able to get into these, you need a good MBA which focuses on data analytics, simulations, leadership, SAP or ERP or some other things that help you understand the entire business, not only your workplace skills. That is how you will be able to enlarge your capabilities to understand the whole business. Otherwise, you will keep working. In Hindi में एक शब्द होता है कूप मंडूक. So you will stay where you are and you'll be happy also. मिल रहा है ना 20,000, 25,000, 40,000 मिल रहा है. If you want to be different, if you want to be there, you want to invest in yourself. There is no other way. Don't feel like the life you want is too far away from your reach. Quite often it is just one good decision away. Don't hold yourself back. Chart a journey for yourself. Choose the right MBA. Work like an entrepreneur. Polish yourself. There'll be a day, the right time to test entrepreneurship. It is you who are in control. Do the stuff that only you can do. That is how you will differentiate yourself from the other person sitting next to you. Without differentiation, there is no future. You have to work on your voice, your mind, your story, your vision, and you can create a future for yourself. Thank you very much. I'll take questions now.
Yeah, Kamal sir, some students have questions, are asking that they should either wait for a year or they should do a future course now.
All right, so I'll look at this question. I know this is a very popular question
The second
today.
question which is being asked by a lot of students is like IIMs and Dakshina Business School and other courses which we are doing is PGDM and PGP, right? And you're talking about MBA, so how it is different in terms of PGDM
All
and
right.
MBA, so something which is on that which can be spoken about.
Okay. So the first question is, whether you should wait for 1 year. I love that number, 500 participants, exactly 500 over there. What will you do for this 1 year? Let me know first. I put a question back to you. If you wait for 1 year, an MBA is for 2 years. So you're looking at a 3-year horizon, after which you expect that you'll get a job. Remember, it is a very big likelihood that a lot of people who lose their jobs will look to do an MBA or test entrepreneurship for this 1 year. They're not sitting idle. If you do not have experience, tell me how will you utilize your 1 year and then do a 2-year MBA. If you think that you will get a job for 1 year, please remember that whatever job you thought that you had in mind that I will be able to do, there'll be a person with 5 years of experience available at the same cost during this 1 year because they don't have a job in hand. Not a problem, but how will you utilize your 1 year fruitfully? Let me know an answer to that. I'm sure it's very difficult because we are not taught to think about future. To me, the obvious answer there is there was no better time to do an MBA than now, and you will see that. There was no better time, and you're looking at a 2-year horizon. India is such a large country. There is such a large potential demand that industries will definitely come up, survive, grow at the first available opportunity. So there is a talk of that because of the COVID-19, the graph of India's growth story has gone down like this, whether it will go up like this or it will go up like this. The U shape or the V shape. It is a bigger likelihood that we will take that V-shaped recovery because India is such a large country, it has such a large pent-up demand that it will have to happen. And hence, I am giving a period of about 12 to 18 months, before the things come back to normal in terms of jobs. But remember that the jobs of the future will not be going to plain vanilla MBAs. If you want a good job, better think about what you are doing. And here comes the question that Master of Management Studies, postgraduate diploma in management, postgraduate program in management, PGPM, Master of Business Studies, MBS, Master of Business Administration, MBA. As I told you, if you want to go for further studies to do a PhD, you must do a recognized master's from a university. Maybe 10% of you will do that. For the rest, 90%, I told you, look at the institution. Look at their profile. Look at the time they have spent in the industry. Look at their linkages with foreign or Indian industries. Look at the extra modern skills that they work for you. Look at the tools that they use. Look at the faculty, their backgrounds and promises. And to me, even IIM-Ahmedabad was giving a diploma for the last 70 years. No, wait a minute, 65, 35, 20, 55 to 60 years.
Yes.
That was just a diploma. PGDM. But what do you want? A value or a piece of paper? Look at all the things that I talked to you about. There is, when you are able to put the right information in the right box, you will see that there might be a PGDM from an institute much better than Master of Business Administration MBA from a university. So it is not in the degree or the qualification that you are getting. It is about what is the respect for that qualification in the market. How are you learning there? How do you get your skills? In what bundled form you get your skills? How can you differentiate yourself from every next MBA or every next PGDM or PGPM?
Sharma, sir,
that's the question that should be on your head. Okay.
Yes, also the AIU has also made it like all the PGPs and PGDMs from AICT approved institutes can do PhD now. So that equivalence has come out, wherein it's a equal what MBA person can do, even a PGDM can also do. That's also there.
Yes, tell me.
Other questions which are coming is about the startups, like how should they start? What should be the first step into the working?
Have a good idea. Have a good idea that solves a certain problem. And a good idea is not a good idea of a product or a service. Is not what you think is a good idea. It is what the eventual customer, what problem you are solving for that customer, what need you are creating and then sufficiently providing for that customer, and whether that customer will be ready to pay a price for it someday. Otherwise, all entrepreneur journeys will fail. So you have to work on your product first. How different it is from what is currently available, or how different. For example, my favorite example there is, quite a lot of you would have seen diabetics in your family. And you would also have seen that, you know, in regular time periods, the diabetic patient has to either go to the hospital or at home they have to take a syringe and insert that syringe, injection 2 times a day, 3 times a day. Difficult, very difficult to think of. Imagine that if you have diabetes, how would you survive? But if there was somebody who could administer the same dose of insulin, not through a syringe, but through a tablet, what are you doing? You are satisfying an existing need in a much improved and less painful process. And you will see your product will sell like hot cakes.
So another question is from a student.
You have to work on your product and the service which solves a real need, then only a business is possible. Yes, please.
So another question is from a student in business economics. She has done honors in business economics and want to know how business analytics as a specialization will work for her.
Oh yes, see, if you have an economics and an analytics degree, that's a very good combination. There are a lot of consultants who might hire you. There are specific, if you see employment news or any other place where you look for places for hire, you will see that, there are specific needs and specific departments which have been created for business analysis, policy analysis, and business strategy offices. There is a lot of scope because the companies, the businesses have realized that if they are able to understand what information they are getting or generating, if they have a better way to look deeper into future using that information, they have created a differentiation with their competition.
We also have a data analytics webinar in next week on the link for that would be shared with you on your emails, where experts will be talking to you and professors of data analytics and business analytics will be talking to you on the whole scenario. Sir, other question which is coming is on the job scenario post-COVID, that how the job scenario will change. I think you already covered that sectors, that what are the sectors which will be working
See,
upon.
it is going to be difficult given that you're already every day hearing out 1,000 people laid off by Zomato, 1,100 laid off by Flipkart. So these are the sectors which were employing maximum MBA graduates. So if they have dropped some people, 1,000 people, 2,000 people, 5,000 people, all of these people are available in the market without any job, with 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years of experience. So you will have to compete with them. And when you don't have a job, you are ready to take even a job at a lesser salary. Please remember that this kind of competition is very difficult to beat, and hence the job market is going to be difficult for the next 12 to 18 months, definitely. That's my take.
Right. The other questions which are coming is about executive MBA, that how that should be taken in terms of not doing a full-time MBA, but an executive PGP, PGDM, wherein they work on a job and also do some kind of course.
I love the thought process. I understand that question. Quite often it has been asked. I love the thought process of your desire to do an MBA while you're working. Because what is there? It signifies two things to me. One is you are ready for a hard work, because your job, if you are getting paid for a job, the job will not leave you for at least 8 to 10 hours in a day. And then you are thinking of spending another 2 hours, 3 hours to attend classes, some distance education or some classes somewhere. Or if not attending classes, you are ready to work it out, read things, work on case studies, work on assignments to be able to complete your MBA. My take is any investment in yourself, there is no other investment better than that. Whether it's stock market or a business of your friends, family, or anything that you do in terms of a house, a real estate, an insurance or anything, invest in yourself. That is going to give you the highest returns for the longest period of time. So an executive MBA is always better if you are, give me a moment.
Right. The certificates will be available after 5 p.m. today. So you can download your certificates after 5 p.m. today. And yes, please continue, sir.
Yeah, so an executive MBA is always going to help you in your organization to be called a qualified MBA, number one. Number two, There are certain skills that you may be out of touch because you have been working for a long period of time, whereas an MBA will give you a bird's eye view of what is happening in other functions as well. So your mind, your knowledge horizon will increase. And 3 is, there is a likelihood that you should be getting a raise in your salary or something. And if they don't raise your salary, now you are going to be going out in the market as an MBA. So to me, an executive MBA is always a very good option if you don't have an option to go for a full-time MBA. But this if is important. Why? Because the things that you learn in a full-time MBA, there is no beating that level of knowledge than an executive MBA, because one is it's a long drawn 3 years. 2 is there are very few chances that you come face to face to be able to understand the group dynamics. 3 is there are very less chances of your interaction with faculty, the people who can show you the way, the right way to analyze, who ask your doubts and all. So all of these are factors that you must consider. If you cannot afford leaving your workplace, your first choice should be a regular MBA. And if you cannot afford to leave your workplace, then an executive MBA is always a very good investment in yourself.
So people are asking what 2 or 3 books, if you can recommend them for entrepreneurship and business.
Specific books, I will need to, I'll share with you. I don't want to hazard a guesswork here. I have my list of books, which usually, for management knowledge and entrepreneurship, we generally do that. So I will share with you that you can share with everybody on this. Why only with a few people, right?
Right. So we'll share it out and all. So mostly the questions which are coming are on analytics and business analytics. So we'll take them in a separate webinar, which we will have. Another important question which comes is on agriculture, that how agriculture and entrepreneurship in agriculture sector.
Oh, I am very bullish on that. I'm very bullish on that because I'm myself involved with a few agriculture startups, and I find that consumer demand of processed agri foods, the business will always be rosy. The business will always be there. You will always need something to eat, and you will have more mouths to eat. We are still talking about that by 2035. Only 2 big numbers that I would like to mention here. That by 2035, our population will start stabilizing. Replacement ratio will be achieved. Whether it happens in 2032, 35, or 2040 is anybody's take. But till that point, we are going to increase our population. There are more mouths to feed. That's one number. Second is the economic growth, continuously increasing economic growth. We have a very large below middle income sector, very large. And most of them are fighting out to reach the middle income group. The middle class is going to expand further, which means larger disposable incomes. And larger disposable incomes with larger number of mouths means ever increasing business scope. You cannot replace hunger, hunger of the stomach. You cannot replace it with anything else. And you can also not replace the taste buds on your tongue. They'll always prod you to have the next Golgappa. Processed food is a great sunrise industry and a great margin play. So you have seen that a potato available at 10 rupees a kg is sold by Pringles at probably 2000 rupees a kg after it is turned into a similar sized chip with some taste. So sky is the limit to which you can reach by enriching the processed food. And so I find that as a very rosy prospect to get into for an entrepreneur. And it is, remember that it will survive any kind of downfall, because you will still need to eat to survive.
A lot of questions on analytics and business analytics. For engineering students, is it advisable to do a PGDM course?
Yes, I'll tell you, see, I have seen the engineering courses. They are less on statistic. They're more on the engineering side of things, the hard knowledge of machines and the behavior of machines. I would have loved actually all engineering final years to go through a mini MBA process or something like that, you know, half a year of management subjects with business analytics. That would have made them quite more employable than what they are today. And that is why, since our engineering courses do not have that, an engineering plus MBA is always a better combination today in the market. And for engineers, see, you already have a positive differentiation with a non-engineer, that the future belongs to, you know, machines and technologies, as much as they require you to be human-centered. Machines and technologies are understood better by engineers. Not that the non-engineers won't understand, they will have their own sphere of action. Like, what do you mean by engineer is an accountant being a chartered accountant is like an engineer to me. An analyst, you know, who is a business, who has done an MBA in business analyst is like an engineer to me. I am more focusing on a specialized qualification that is more likely to give a better job and a better salary than the plain vanilla courses.
And what are the few skills which a student should work on right now in terms of their working?
All right. Okay. So the best skills that you need to work on yourself is only 3, and most basic. And these 3 you have been working since your childhood. And what are those skills? Read, speak, and write. What do you read and what language do you read is important. So to me, the preferred knowledge, preferred medium or language is English. And since, you know, it's unfortunate that if you are better in English, you are going to have more confidence levels and you are more employable according to the current trends. It's unfortunate that, you know, if somebody knows very confident Hindi, they are found suitable for a specific kind of jobs, and the English guys are more transferable from one skill to another. That is the current level at which the market is. So you can't do much about it because that's uncontrollable.
So a lot of students are asking about demo business model.
Wait. Let me answer this question in full. This is important. So reading language, done. What do you read? So everyday newspaper editorials is extremely important to read. If you are looking at a certain sector, choose a sector, one sector or 2 sectors, and read more about them through the journals and the newspaper. So that's about reading. What do you write? It has come down to what do you write on WhatsApp, and you feel that you write a lot. When you write on your subject exam, you feel that you write a lot. No, those are basic necessities. You need more than that. You learn to write a blog. You pick up an article of interest and write small pieces, even a half a page or 1 page in 1 week is going to do wonders for you. in the coming days. In fact, my own kids, right from their childhood, there are copies and copies in which they have written essays. One of my kid is 12 years old, and he has already written probably 150 to 200 essays, 1 page or 2 page essays. That's about writing and speaking. So there is no magic wand anywhere. एक जादू की छड़ी कहीं पे भी नहीं है जिससे आप घुमा दोगे तो आप fluent English बोलना चालू कर दोगे. You need to practice. You need to find out ways how you can speak that language. Otherwise, you will not think and speak together. That practice will not happen. So how do you do that? One difficult way to do that, if you don't have friends around, one difficult way to do that is to speak yourself in the mirror. I don't know whether you'll be able to do that or not. I've seen people doing that, and I've seen people developing also. Or otherwise, find out a person who knows English and who's also daring to speak with you and practice your language. Read, speak, and write. If these are 3 skills you do every day, there's not enough time. In fact, if you do these 3 things regularly, you will not have time during the day to do many things. Your time will be filled up with some of the other things you will be doing on these 3 different, read, speak, and write. So if you have to do,
I think your network got stuck. You're there. So
time best utilization will be in doing these. Yes.
Yes. So mostly questions are coming about analytics. So analytics, we have another webinar next week. We'll be sending you the link to all the participants and you can work on these. Sharma, sir, another question which is coming is on the, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Right. So another question which is coming with a lot of students is on the education being online now. Like for most of the people, when they join a business school, it's more about networking and how they build their network with the batch, with the allies, with the.
Wait a minute.
So how about the networking part, which will miss out if it's only online, and how they can utilize this working and how they can build the network?
No, wait, hold on. I'm not. Can you repeat the question, please?
So mostly they're asking about the networks and how the business school provides a network of people, right, of successful people in the alumni and through their batchmates and other people, and how they can be utilized. Something on that part, because being online right now, how that would be something which can people.
All right. All right. So there is a challenge there. Spend more time on online education, develop networks and relationships. How do you develop when you are at a college and university?
Samaja, I think your voice is not clear now.
How do you develop those relationships, not without the help of a strong list of
Sharma sir, your voice is not clear. People are not able to hear you now. So maybe he'll be joining back us soon in a minute or so. We have another webinar next week on data analytics, a mini MBA series on data analytics, which students can register out on. And we'll be discussing more on how entrepreneurship and data analytics works at Takshila. Sharma sir has again joined us now. He's just clicking on the things, The certificates will be available to download by 5 p.m. today. You'll be getting an email also on the same, that how you can download the certificates and all. So don't worry about those things. You'll be able to download the certificates.
Hello.
You're back now?
Yes, I'm back, and I have my plan B. My hotspot on mobile, my Wi-Fi has failed. So
Not a problem.
you should always, no. As in, there's a learning there that you should always be ready in your life also for plan B. So where were we? The question was
Talking about the business networks and how networks and MBA.
business networks. Okay. So when at the institution, so while in an online model, it's very difficult to develop relationships, to interact with people, to let them know what good you are. At an established institution with a very good history, you'll find that there are thousands of alumni who can get you further networks in the industry. So if you look at, if I have about 12,000 plus LinkedIn connects, it is because I have worked in so many contexts. I've worked in steel, I've worked in the civil services, I've worked in a foreign context, I've worked with consultants, I've worked at IIMs, I have been in the startup world. So look at it, the networks come because you have been because of two things. One, you can claim because of your institution connect. That is one. Two, network. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So the other is you can only develop a network if you are delivering some value to your network. Nobody is dying to become friends with you. What good you have in you that somebody should do a friendship with you is important for a network. And hence, if you are just plain vanilla versus a butterscotch, what should you do to become more acceptable to a network? So working in a very good organization, you will get better friends. Having a better skill, you will have better friends. Being very sharp in your thoughts, analysis, and communication, you will make better friends and better networks. All right.
Right, sir. We'll close it now. We thank you for the wonderful sessions of the last 2 days. We have the next event on 26th of this month, Critical Thinking for Business Success by Dr. Parimal Merchant, who is the director at SP Jain Institute of Global Management. He'll be talking about critical thinking on business success. Also, if you have any questions,
this is an important thing to learn, because as I talk to you about what do they teach at IIM-A or the best of institutions, is about, how do you think about the future? How do you critically analyze what you have in hand? Your ability to generate a picture, picture of the future based on what you have in hand is coming from this skill called critical thinking. So it's very important. I think you are in the right space to do such a workshop. All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we have another on business analytics that is on 31st and 1st of May. It's a 2 days program, again a certificate program for business analytics. A lot of questions on business analytics which came can be addressed there.
All right. Okay, so let me give my space to say thanks to all of you who have stayed back. I see that there are about 360 plus who are still there. I hope you are able to make the right choices for yourself. You can look to connect to me on my you can look for my name on the LinkedIn and you'll be able to reach out to me. My email is this. As far as possible, time permitting, I'll be able to give you some answers to your questions. But it would be better if you join my LinkedIn shared network. And all the best in your lives. Hope we all come out stronger in the post-COVID-19 world, and make a mark on the world that Indians, nobody can beat the Indians. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We'll be closing now. Thank you everyone for joining.